Hey everybody, it's Chris Bumray from JoBlo.com, and I'm at CinemaCon in Vegas. I just came out of the Sony panel. So, what was the biggest thing that was revealed at the Sony panel? It wasn't like last year where we got to see the casting of all the 4 Beatles. I think probably the biggest thing was that we got to see the first trailer for The Social Networking, which last I checked is not online yet, which is interesting because, you know, this is in some ways a follow-up to The Social Network, but not necessarily a sequel. It's written by Aaron Sorkin, also directed by Aaron Sorkin this time instead of David Fincher, and it just tackles a different story in the Mark Zuckerberg sphere, I guess, where a whistleblower played by Mikey Madison, her first big role since Anora, tries to, you know, reveal, but it's based on true story, of course, to journalists about all the data breaches that have been going on with Facebook and Meta, which I'm sure we're all very aware of, being Facebook and Meta subscribers, of course. Maybe even be watching this video on Facebook or Meta. The most interesting thing about it, I think, was that we got our first glimpse of Jeremy Strong as Mark Zuckerberg and what his performance is going to be like. And no, he is not doing an impersonation of Jesse Eisenberg. I think he's approaching it just as he would any other role had nobody played it before. Doesn't seem too much like Kendall from Succession, of course. I know, I think it looks really cool, but there's something very strange how at the end of the trailer, even though they've been trying to differentiate it from The Social Network, they actually play the music from The Social Network, the Trent Reznor Atticus Ross score, which of course is probably not going to be in the sequel because they're not returning to compose the score. My issue with this is Aaron Sorkin, I think, is a great writer. I don't think he's a very good director, and I especially don't think he's a good director when he's directing his own scripts because he's a little too reverent to his own material. So I'm not sold completely on this one. I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll be entertaining, but I don't think it's going to be a masterpiece like The Social Network. So the next one that was kind of interesting is that we saw some footage from Jumanji Open World. So it's been quite a while. It's been 7 years since the last Jumanji movie, and the kids that played Jumanji in the last one are pretty grown up now, and the movie acknowledges that by actually having them interact in this one with their avatars from the game who are brought over into the real world. It's kind of like a bit more like the first Jumanji in that way. It's interesting because they're playing demo versions of their characters. So for instance, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson speaks with this really kind of atrocious Spanish accent that's supposed to be bad. Sounds a bit like Ricardo Montalban from Fantasy Island, which I kind of enjoyed. Listen, I've never been a massive fan of these movies, but they've made a lot of money, and I think this one's going to be very successful. And it was cool seeing them on stage, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson just kind of kidding around with each other and swearing quite a bit, which is a surprise. I'm not used to seeing those guys swear because they're always in PG-13 movies, right? They need to do an R-rated Jumanji movie. Of course, there was a superhero that was particularly well represented at that Sony panel, Spider-Man. We saw some footage from Spider-Man Brand New Day, a full scene where basically Peter Parker runs into MJ and Ned in the real world, who of course don't remember him following the events of the last movie. I don't want to spoil it. It's bittersweet. It does look like it's going to be a bit of a more grown-up Spider-Man movie this time around because, I mean, well, they're all in their 20s now, right? So it's nice to see the kids not in high school. But then we also saw some amazing footage from Beyond the Spider-Verse, which basically picks up from the cliffhanger in the last movie where Miles Morales is being held captive by his uncle, and it's revealed that there's another version of Miles Morales called the Prowler, who seems like he's maybe one of the antagonists in this movie. The footage I saw was amazing, and interestingly, it's being shot in IMAX aspect ratio this time, 1:4:3:1. Otherwise, you can check out all the stuff that we talked about on the JoBlo website, of course, and also on the JoBlo Horror channel, where Lance Velchek and I, who's here at the festival with me or at the convention with me, recorded a video on all the horror stuff that we saw. So check it out, and much more to come.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.